WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Enough is enough, and it's time for a change!
I can't believe I'm putting my voice to this.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
Thank you for your irrelevant opinion.
And now, here's your host of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon.
The first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I got to say.
I'm a broadcast journalist. I have a right to my opinion.
Oh, son of a...
I am the best on this microphone, in that ring, even at commentary.
There's the sound of the bell, and we are set to go. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon here with you. No, not alongside Lucas. At this point, where the heck? Yeah, no, he's doing his due diligence as a Pennsbury High School senior. He's one of the team managers and will be accompanying Pennsbury in their playoff game against Perkiomen Valley, which, of course, you can hear right here on 1490 WBCB later this evening. So, conspicuous by his absence, he does apologize for not making it here because he does miss everybody here on the show, except me. That may or may not be a direct quote. I don't know. Well, we'll see.
You're shallow, you know that?
I've been told that a time or two. But Ryan from Northeast Philly back in the house.
How's everybody doing out there? BCB.
Serena also in the house observing as she has been. And I haven't scared her away yet. So, I don't know. Maybe this will be the week.
Hey,
let's find it. No,
show just started.
I got a smile out of her, so I must be doing something kind of right. I don't know. We'll see here. A lot of news to get into. Of course, we've got the Survivor Series pay-per-view coming up tomorrow. We'll get into that. I hate starting the show off with some bad news. I hate to be the Wade Barrett of the group here. I won't play the I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Yeah, my British accent is just not what it used to be, so.
Right.
Yeah.
But a WWE Hall of Famer passing away this past week. You might have seen the caption, or at least a little bit of a chat about it on Raw. But Nick Bockwinkel died last Saturday night at the age of 80, according to the Cauliflower Alley Club. The cause of death was not announced. Bockwinkel was inducted in the 2007 WWE Hall of Fame and was most noted for his time in the Minnesota-based American Wrestling Alliance, the AWA, where he was a 3-time tag team champion with Ray Stevens and 4-time World Heavyweight Champion, including on the later end of his career, some very good matches with a very young and up-and-coming at the time Curt Hennig, pre-Mr. Perfect. Yeah, so go to YouTube. I don't think WWE Network has do they have AWA footage? I haven't really done a lot of looking with that. So I'd suggest going to the YouTube, as I've been calling it, and just look up Nick Bockwinkel, Curt Hennig, and I don't know, I actually have a personal Nick Bockwinkel story, even though I've never personally met him. A friend of my grandfather's actually worked with Nick in a law firm in the Minnesota area after his career was over, and my grandfather, knowing how much of a wrestling fan I was, sent a call out to his buddy, and they ended up sending in the mail an autographed photo of Nick Bockwinkel. Sent me an autographed photo in the mail, personally, autographed to Fearon, all the best, Nick Bockwinkel, and it's a picture of him with a sleeper hold on Hulk Hogan.
Wow.
And on Hogan's thigh, he also writes Hulk who? Which I think he shares the same opinion as WWE at the moment, based on everything that he's been dealing with.
Oh, yeah.
And a little something that I didn't know. Now, longtime listeners of WBCB and people who have known me for a long time know that I'm a huge fan of, along with wrestling, of game shows.
Yep.
Here's a did you know that you probably didn't. Did you know that Nick Bockwinkel was a contestant on the nighttime edition of the original Hollywood Squares back in 1968?
I would have never guessed.
Yeah, with Peter Marshall. This was, I don't think Paul Lynde was on that episode. I think Buddy Hackett was the center square at that point still. But not only was he a contestant, he cleaned house. Wow. Like, he ended up, he won the whole thing. Like, he won $1,300 in cash, which for 1968 was
Pretty
a heck
good
of a lot of money. Yeah,
Absolutely.
For winning the entire game, he won a kitchen set that included a refrigerator, a stove oven, and a dishwasher. And for winning the secret square in the second game, he won a 1968 Pontiac Firebird. Yeah.
He did clean up.
He did clean house, yeah. All told, at the time, over $6,000 worth of cash and prizes. All right, there, I've got my inner game show host out of the way, so, by kind of getting that in there. But, I mean, a lot of great memories, and sad to see another legend pass away in
Always.
Nick Bockwinkel. And unbeknownst to me until this morning, and actually Joel Gertner put this up on Facebook, speaking of game shows real quick, because why not? I digress all the time. MC Jim Perry, host of Card Sharks and Sale of the Century, passed away yesterday. Condolences. Yeah, I know. The game show world is feeling that loss as well, because he was he was definitely an underrated game show host, but certainly a favorite. And I mean, he basically was NBC daytime for the better part of probably about 15 years, maybe 10, 12, 15 years, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Plus, he also hosted a lot of Canadian game shows as well. Definition, probably the most known among those. It was. Yeah, well, I know. You're here in the States, hoser. Of course you're not going to know that. Wow, I've done a British accent and a Canadian accent, and we're only like 6 minutes into the show here.
I'm impressed.
Yeah. The hell's the matter? All right. Well, I was going to say, and speaking of what the hell's the matter with me, but what the hell's the matter with WWE? Because I think they went a little too far again. Yeah, there's nothing new. In the closing segment this past Monday on Raw, Paige and Charlotte, as you may have seen or may not have seen, had a contract signing for the WWE Divas Championship. In the verbal exchange, it eventually became physical because, as we all know, 95% of contract signings on TV in professional wrestling end with some sort of a physical Donnybrook, brouhaha, or melee. Absolutely. Wow. Did I just really go H.C. Bailey on that? All right. Yeah. I know. Like, two people are going to go, holy crap, he just did. Yeah. And then the rest are like, H.C. who? What is he talking about? Yeah, I go all over the place here. We know this by now.
It's that kind of show.
It is. In the verbal exchange that eventually became physical, Paige made a reference to Charlotte's baby brother not having a lot of fight in him. Now, of course, she meant Charlotte's brother and Ric Flair's youngest son, Reed Flair, who died 2.5 years ago at the age of 25 of a drug overdose. Yeah, once again, WWE bringing death into, turning death into a storyline, because that's worked so many times before to positive results. Yeah, I did my own cricket sound because I didn't have it up quick enough. On top of it, Rick was never approached about his feelings regarding the angle. Despite being involved heavily with WWE, he said on his podcast this past week, quote, "Obviously, I have an opinion, but I'm afraid to voice it because I don't want anything to affect Ashley's career." Ashley being, Charlotte.
Yep.
"I know that Hunter and Stephanie and Michael Hayes have her back. I don't think she's comfortable enough to say no to anything yet. She's only been up there 3 months." Now, Charlotte's mother, Elizabeth, meanwhile, had no problem expressing her opinion via Twitter, tweeting to WWE, Stephanie, Vince, and Triple H, quote, "WWE writers, really? That's lazy. Hashtag cheap heat. Hashtag disgusting. Hashtag disrespectful. Hashtag cruel. Hashtag sad. Hashtag raw Greenville."
Wow.
That is a lot of hashtags.
Yeah. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, exactly. Now, WWE did respond to the Reed Flair angle, officially commenting to the Wrestling Observer of all entities. Their statement reads, quote, "Subject matter this personal is only approved as a result of the strong advocacy of the talent themselves. Notwithstanding that, WWE is ultimately responsible for what airs in its programming." End quote. Stay classy, Stanford.
Yes.
You stay classy. That's
Some
the
things
corporate
never
BS way of saying, oops, my bad. That's pretty much the only way you can get into it. Now, I can't believe I should have mentioned this off the top, but I'm bouncing all over the place here. It's been that kind of a day. A programming note, we are on until 12:45 today due to playoff football. Steinert against Jackson Liberty. That's coming your way. I believe 12:45, maybe 12:50. I will be constantly looking at my phone for correspondence from program director Matt Miro, who will I believe will be on the call for the game. It's been kind of back and forth, to say the least, and oh goodness, the Facebook feedback is a buzz and then some, and I'll get to that coming up in a little bit as well. Oh yeah, there's. See, I started talking game shows, and already there's a couple of things on there. Yeah, we'll get into that. We'll get into that and some other things coming up as well. Also this hour, channel changes for TNA and Ring of Honor. I'll get into that story. A Twitter tiff between a famous actress and Kevin Owens. Yeah, that's right. That's going to be a lot of. I'm going to have a lot of fun with that.
That's some quality. Makes for quality television.
Also, why is John Cena off of WWE TV for the next couple of months? Well, we finally found out. I'll tell you that story coming up. Plus, a police investigation reveals who leaked the Hulk Hogan sex tape.
Oh, boy.
That's right. We'll get into that. Plus, another milestone Raw coming up in 2016, and some other 2016 news regarding the possible but not yet confirmed Money in the Bank location for 2016. Something tells me WWE is going to try to roll the dice on this one.
I see what you did there.
You know what I mean?
Hint, hint.
And a former WWE Divas champion signing a book deal. All that coming up. Plus, looks like, we've got some phone stuff to get into as well. We'll get to your phone calls. And, we'll find out from Ted Moments. Yes, that's... we will get to him right on the other side of a break, and I'll have a little bit more to say about that as well. I'll just there's so much to get into. Let me take care of a bit of business, and we'll go from there. How about that? This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
And now, more Pro Wrestling Weekly with your host, Fearon Derry.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you, alongside Ryan from Northeast Philly, sitting in studio once again, and Serena silently observing how much of an ass clown I'm making out of myself, as I tend to do on a weekly basis. What exactly she's learned out of all this, I don't know, but hopefully something. Yeah, probably what you've learned, Serena, is if I can do this ... then you'll be a shoo-in to take over one of these days, because I know I can't do this forever. All right, I have to. I guess I have to make a statement based on something that occurred a couple of weeks ago, and basically that statement is something that Lucas can probably say better than I can.
I feel like an idiot. I apologize.
The reason being, a couple of weeks ago, the person who I'm going to go to on the line in a second, Ed from Northeast Philly, he's called in quite a bit to the show, and in my scattered brain-itis stupidity, forgot that he was holding on the line and went through the rest of the show, and then once about I forget if there was a game that day or not. If it was about 3 minutes after the show was over, I went, oh, blankety blank, I forgot about Ed on the line. So, Ed, my apologies. I feel like an ass, which I know is nothing new for me. But thank you for your patience, and welcome back to the program. And again, once again, my apologies.
That's all right. You had too many people in there, I guess.
I was going to say, more than a certain number of people, and I tend to just be even more all over the place, bouncing around like the light patterns on the old Press Your Luck game show. And that particular week, I just happened to stop on a whammy and forgot to let you on the phone here.
There's a doubleheader tonight at the Skate Zone in Voorhees.
Alrighty.
It's easy. What?
Oh, I said alrighty. Yeah, that's yeah. Go ahead.
VCW and WSU starting at 4 p.m.
Oh wow, it's only a couple hours. Well, yeah, the 4 would be. Hey, math. I do math's good. That's like 3.5 hours away.
There's PWS in Keysport, New Jersey, 6 p.m. tonight. Sanjay Dutt, Balls Mahoney, and Raven on.
Oh, they're doing 2 shows this week. Didn't they have one last night that was Just Incredible's retirement match?
Yeah, I think that was Rahway.
Oh, well, that was in Rahway, yeah. But it's the first in a while, if at all, that I've seen Pro Wrestling Syndicate do 2 shows on the same weekend.
And they're back in Rahway on December 19th. The Double J with Karen and Dan Math is the main event.
Oh, Jeff Jarrett's going to be in the house for that.
Yeah,
wow. Well, with him there, who knows who else from Global Force Wrestling will be in tow.
That's true.
Could be right, yeah.
And Royal Rumble Party coming to Philadelphia, Northeast Philly on January 24th at Nick's Roast Beef.
Oh gosh, I was gonna say I can barely get. I haven't even gotten the turkey out of the freezer yet, and you're talking Royal Rumble on me. Oh my goodness. Well, no, it's yeah. Unfortunately, it's not going to be like the party that it was last year when the Rumble was here, because it's down in sunny Florida this coming January. Maybe I'll have to book a road trip. I don't know. Get the hell out of the cold at that point.
That'd be nice. That would be nice.
Former WW or WCW champion is the host, Lex Luger.
Luger's going to be there
at Nick's Roast Beef.
Shut up and take my money.
That's just a hop, skip, and a jump for me.
Oh, that's right. That's like right down the road from you. Yeah. All right. I think I know. I was going to say, Brett, Lucas, I think I know where we're going for the Rumble.
We got our plans.
Holy smokes. Nick's Roast Beef and Narcissus. We had Rooney the other week. Narcissus. Again, now we just need Messi and Pele.
Thank you, Ed, for our Royal Rumble plans.
Look at that. See, now, you got me excited now. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, Luger, it's kind of pretty much it's not even a secret, really, because I've gushed about him for a while, even when I had the chance to interview him a couple of years ago. He's one of my all-time favorites, and getting the chance to meet him in person and actually interview him was a treat, and it'd be fantastic to be able to see him again. So, I know what I'm doing for the Rumble now.
Absolutely.
Nick's Roast Beef on January 24th. All right. Siri, put that in the calendar, will you? Okay, Fearon. All right, yeah.
And
I think it calls me Fearon because I can't get it to pronounce. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And Raw here in Philly, December 14th.
Yeah, that's right around the corner, too. There's a lot of stuff going on. It is some crazy, crazy stuff, to say the least. Anything else for us, Ed?
That's it.
All righty. Thank you once again. My apologies once again. Always appreciate the look at the...
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving as well. Oh, God. I was thinking about doing the cliched, hackneyed, what are you thankful for in professional wrestling, but the people do enough of that on various sports talk shows and things like that. I was like, you know what? Plus, there's so much else to get into here, and... including some feedback on the Facebook page. Bob chiming in from Trenton. There's an old episode of The Dating Game with a bachelor named Lanny Poffo, well before he was in the WWF.
Oh.
How about that? Leaping Lanny Poffo in The Dating Game, Nick Bockwinkel on the on Hollywood Squares. I think the Fabulous Moolah was on was one of those 4-panel Goodson Todman shows. I forget if was she on What's My Line or To Tell the Truth or I've Got a Secret, one of those. Those 3 were pretty much interchangeable back in the 50s and 60s. Come on now. And John from Northeast Philly, while playing Call of Duty Black Ops 3, users can create their own emblems. Here's one that I found from a gamer who raises hell, and apparently his emblem is Stone Cold Steve Austin chugging a couple of Steve Weisers.
Nice.
Very, very nicely done. Also, Matt Kahn chiming in. It's been a while since I've heard from him. He asks, are there any proper Survivor Series-style matches scheduled for this Sunday? Well, I haven't gotten into the lineup, but I will say yes, but they haven't announced who the participants are, and that makes me hurt a little inside.
Yeah.
Because the tradition, I mean, there have only been 2 pay-per-views, or 2 Survivor Series pay-per-views where they have not had a Survivor Series-style elimination match.
Yeah,
Those years would be? Did a little trivia throw it out there?
Boy.
One of them I talked about very heavily on last week's show, if you were paying attention. You obviously were not. It's okay. Survivor Series 98, Deadly Game, where they had the last title tournament. Yep. And 2002, where they had the first ever Elimination Chamber match.
Wow, those were the only two?
Those were the only 2 where there was not at least one traditional Survivor Series elimination match.
That makes sense. That the way it's set up.
The more you know. Yes, that's pretty much what I got there. All right. So a couple of, I was going to say, the time is just like flying on by here. So some other news, notes, tidbits. I'll get into the predictions starting to go wrong for Survivor Series coming up in the third and final segment here on the abbreviated program. It's going until 12:45, maybe 12:50. Maybe during the next break, I will send a correspondence text to Matt Miro to find out what exactly is going on here, because as things change second by second around here. But I don't know. Do I want to save the Twitter tiff story? Yeah, you know what? Well, we'll get into it now. Why not? There's been a lengthy he said, she said going on Twitter between actress Melissa Joan Hart and WWE's Kevin Owens. That's right. Get ready for Clarissa to explain Raw. For those of you youngins, and that probably includes Lucas, like, what is this? This is from her Nickelodeon show back in the early 90s, Clarissa Explains It All, when she was a teenager. Yeah, just kind of soak that in for a little bit. Anyway, the tiff between her and Kevin Owens went so far as to be acknowledged by the Raw announce team on Monday. Started with Hart tweeting, "Kevin Owens is a lazy wrestler. Yeah, I said it." Owens followed up with a tweet 45 minutes later, which was, yes, an hour into Raw, saying, "Sorry, I watched one of your shows a few months ago and it put me into a slumber that's been hard to recover from." He followed up a few minutes later by tweeting, "I just blocked Sabrina the Teenage Witch," which, of course, is Melissa Joan Hart's other notable role.
And this is why one of the many reasons that I tune into Raw every week for Kevin Owens.
Hart then tweeted a picture showing the blockage and added, "I made one comment hoping he would start showing more, and he got butthurt. Didn't know I was so threatening. I understand. I'm sure he's a very nice guy. He's a talented wrestler, but his character needs some ring and mic boost." And then she noted that the announcers mentioned her tweet and about Owens and the subsequent block. But do you think it's done there? Not quite.
Not.
Let's explain some more. That's right. She clarified her comments, tweeting, "The character is lazy. I understand it's psychological and he doesn't have to move as much unless he has to. I would never call a superstar lazy when I know the amount of work that goes into their job. I want to see Owens move the way he did in videos I've seen, the way he fought against Cena. I know the character doesn't have to be flashy, but when he's doing minimal moves, so many holds, etc., it looks lazy and sluggish. Not the man, the character. He's far from a lazy worker. I called the character lazy, but I worded it completely wrong, so everyone thinks I called Steen lazy." Of course, Kevin Owens is, real name.
Right. Yep.
Oh my gosh, breaking kayfabe.
Uh-oh.
She also addressed fans who took things too far on Twitter, saying, quote, "Attention Owens fans and WWE fans. Know the difference between an actor, wrestler, and his character. You take kayfabe too far. Don't threaten my family and say horrible things defending a persona. You've taken a fun Twitter exchange and made it into something disgusting. Stop being keyboard warriors and do something productive with your energy. Stay off my Facebook and Instagram accounts. They're family-friendly, just like WWE fans should be, and my followers don't need to see your gross vocabulary and foul thoughts. How dare you pollute a photo of an innocent child with your senseless name-calling? Wow. Please block me across all social media platforms as I continue to block you, too."
Wow. That
wow.
Escalated quickly.
It did. I don't even know if Sam can climb the ladder and get her out of this one. Oh, the Clarissa Explains It All references. Oh, goodness. Also, Tampa police have revealed the results of their year-and-a-half-long investigation regarding theft and extortion surrounding the leaked Hulk Hogan sex tape. There was no way to segue in or out of that, so I just dove right in. At the center of the investigation, radio personality Matt Lloyd, known on the Bubba the Love Sponge show as Spice Boy. According to Tampa police, Lloyd, quote, "stole several sex tape DVDs from Bubba's office."
Oh.
This just gets better and better, and by better and better, I mean worse and worse.
Absolutely. What an interesting
And
day.
then shopped clips of the sex tape and sold it to TMZ to, quote, "build interest." They also said Lloyd contacted a well-known sex tape broker in California to, quote, "engage in the extortion of Terry Bollea," being Hulk Hogan's real name. The report also said Lloyd was paid $8,500 by TMZ and TheDirty.com for leaked pictures of the sex tape. The things people will do for money nowadays. Man.
Scary.
It is. It is definitively scary, that's for sure. One thing that's not so it's more, I guess, odd than scary. WWE having a milestone edition of Raw coming up in early 2016. Its first ever leap year edition.
Wow. Huh.
On February 29th, 2016. Because the extra day appears every 4 years on the calendar and based on the rotation, February 29th won't fall on a Monday again after next year until 2044, which if Raw is still around would be 51 years after its debut.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll be around.
When was the last time it happened before? Well, next year, you'd have to go back to 1988, which was 5 years before Monday Night Raw came into existence. Another little did you know type thing. Got a lot of those today for some reason. I don't know. Well, I do know. But if you didn't know, now you know. And knowing, as they say, is half the battle.
Yes. Never
found out what the other half was.
Can't be.
I never watched a lot of G.I. Joe, though, so I got nothing on that. So ProWrestling.net is reporting that WWE has its eye on Las Vegas for its Money in the Bank pay-per-view for 2016. Now, if it were successful, WWE would run the pay-per-view in the new 20,000-seat Las Vegas Arena, which they're still in the process of finishing up building. And it would be a few weeks before the milestone UFC 200 pay-per-view that is set for July.
Oh.
Yeah, the big, the MMA and that whole deal.
Right. And
is also rumored to be the scene for CM Punk's first UFC fight.
Oh.
Yeah, how about that?
Now that's interesting.
Now, it wouldn't be the first time that WWE's tried to get the jump on a major event or arena, as 2 of the last 3 years, WWE held WrestleMania in the same venue that would then host the NFL Super Bowl less than a year later. Of course, Mania 29, which you and I were at MetLife Stadium in April of 2013, before Super Bowl 48 some 10 months later, and then Mania 31 from March of this year. That was, of course, held at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, and that is where the upcoming Super Bowl 50 will be this February, where, I don't think you're going to be seeing the Eagles there.
Or the 49ers, for that matter.
Accurate. Although, I mean, everybody's 4-5 at the moment, or at least it feels that way. So it's anybody's game, unless you're the Patriots. Then it's their game.
Then it's their game.
Yeah, they make all the rules.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Oh, yeah. I got to take care of a couple of things. I got to take care of a bunch of things. I got to get a hold of Matt to see what time we're taking this game, whether I've got 10 minutes or 15. And I forgot in my haste to tell you about our friends over at George's Cards and Collectibles. Because it's your place for sports and wrestling memorabilia, if I can get it out, as well as legendary sports figure appearances. Now, it's not too early to start thinking about holiday shopping. Some places have already started the holiday music, including other places down the radio dial that I won't mention, because I'd get in trouble. And you can get your sports collectibles at any of the George's 3 locations. Well, or 4, but I'll get into that in a minute. Their original store at 7755 New Falls Road in Fairless Hills, as well as on the lower level of the Oxford Valley Mall next to the Sears Court, and the Neshaminy Mall in the AMC Theater Wing. And also for the holiday season, the 4th store is open in the Willow Grove Park Mall on the 3rd level between Sears and the food court.
I was just there the other day. I saw it in there. I was kind of surprised. I didn't know that was there.
Didn't know, it was like, oh, look at that. There you go. Now, for more info on the upcoming signings, collectibles, and more, give George's a call at 215-943-2475 or go to georgescollectibles.com. Or go up there, as Ryan did, and check out all the awesome stuff and pick up a souvenir or two. Was there anything Kane-related that you picked up?
Oh, I didn't have a chance to go in.
Oh, you didn't have a chance? Oh, okay.
It was kind of on the way out.
It was on the way out, and you were just like,
noticed.
oh, look, at George's. How about that?
I'm definitely going to
now you know to go back before the holidays are done here, is before the end of the year.
Oh, I'm sure all the Kane-related items were sold out.
Were sold out already?
Yeah,
oh, I see what you did there. Very, very well done. I'm impressed.
Hey.
All righty. And let's see. I'm still waiting to hear from Matt as far. I know. I forget. The 4th wall is beyond Swiss cheese. The wall is just like a pile of rubble on the ground at this point. I just
kicking up dust now at this point.
It is. Yeah. The 4th wall is the dust that has come up from it being knocked down. So I'll collaborate with Matt, and that also means that, well, given this time as it usually is, it's also time to tell you about my favorite beer spot, the Broken Goblet Brewery, 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol. Broken Goblet Brewing, breaking your perspective on how you experience craft beer, because broken can be beautiful. Now, coming up this Friday, Black Friday, November 27th, the dual bottle release of Bubba's Sour Tea Bag. It tastes a lot better than it sounds. Sour ales with either cherries aged in a Cabernet barrel or raspberries aged in a Shiraz barrel. Now, if I were any type of a wine snob, I'd have some sort of an idea as what Cabernet and Shiraz mean. But I don't. I like beer. So for those of you who know what Cabernet and Shiraz are, I'm sure you'll be able to appreciate and enjoy that more so than I will. Special open time of 1 p.m. this Friday, and the first 15 in line for the release get a free T-shirt. Oh. Plus, there'll be a food truck on site starting at 12:30. Zombie turkey paintball starting at 5. Ooh. Yeah, I know. That bears repeating. Zombie turkey paintball. Yeah, let that soak in for a second. And then live music with Matt Setzer starting at 8. It is a jam-packed Black Friday, to say the least. Open Wednesdays through Sundays. It's always a good time at the Broken Goblet Brewery, 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol, PA. Check them out on the web at brokengoblet.com. Broken Goblet Brewing, the semi-official brewery of Pro Wrestling Weekly. I know, that nice line. The line gets you every time, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
All right, we'll take care of some other business here. Still got to talk about the channel changes for TNA and Ring of Honor, as well as that former WWE Divas champion who has got a book deal. Plus, I've still got the predictions certain to go wrong for the Survivor Series. We've got your preview coming up on the other side. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, November 21. On this date in 1999, WCW held its Mayhem pay-per-view. In the main event, Bret Hart defeated Chris Benoit in a tournament final to win the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. On this date in 2005, WWE Monday Night Raw aired from Sheffield, England. In the main event, Shawn Michaels fought John Bradshaw Layfield to a no contest in a lumberjack match. On this date in 2010, WWE held its Survivor Series pay-per-view. In the main event, Randy Orton pinned Wade Barrett with John Cena as guest referee to retain the WWE Championship. This has been Today in Wrestling History, November 21.
Hi, this is Jim Cornette, and you're listening to Pro Wrestling Weekly with Fearon Derry on 1490 WBCB.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you, alongside Ryan from Northeast Philly, Serena checking things out, and I've got roughly about 3 to 5 minutes, so I get to fly on through here at a luchador-type pace. All right, so TNA announcing that Impact Wrestling will move to the Pop TV network starting Tuesday, January 5th at 9 p.m. Eastern. Pop TV was previously the TV Guide channel, and as of February was available in 75 million homes compared to Destination America's 57 million homes. Ring of Honor, meanwhile, is switching from Destination America to Comet TV starting Wednesday, December 2nd. That's not too far away. Comet TV just launched 3 weeks ago on Halloween and is available in 60% of the country thanks to over-the-air. Comet TV's programming mostly sci-fi movies and TV series from the MGM library. Also, one other little tidbit to get into here, if I can figure out where the hell it is in my notes. There we go. Former WWE Divas champion signing a book deal, AJ Lee. I know, Lucas is already excited about that. He has a new book deal to tell the story of her life and wrestling career. The book is called Crazy Is My Superpower. I'll refrain from jokes at this moment. It's scheduled for release in spring of 2017 by publisher Penguin Random House. When asked why the book is set for a 2017 release as opposed to next year, Lee's agent noted on Twitter, quote, "Good things come to those who wait." Now, Lee's book will document her unlikely rise from poverty to professional wrestling champion who fought against stereotypes. So how about that? All right. Wow. Quick Survivor Series coverage here because time is of the essence. Get the classic music going for this one, even though there's no advertised classic Survivor Series matches. 6 matches on the card. Charlotte defending the Divas Championship against Paige. Lucas is going with Paige here, and I think that's him picking with his heart as opposed to his head. And I'm going with Charlotte because she needs some sort of a make-good after all the negative backlash from the Reed Flair comments.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Charlotte, too. I think it's...
The Undertaker and Kane taking on two members of the Wyatt family. It's 25 years of the Undertaker celebration. They've got to go with Taker and Kane here, but Lucas, he feels it's the Wyatts that are going to take it. Interesting. And then, we'll save the tournament for last. Dolph Ziggler against Tyler Breeze in the Battle of the So Pretties. We both think Breeze is taking this one because Dolph Ziggler jobs. That's what he does.
Yep.
And then to the tournament. In the one semifinal, Dean Ambrose taking on Kevin Owens. How could it not be Ambrose? Especially because, I don't know. Maybe Owens will get a little bit of a push thanks to his Melissa Joan Hart notoriety. But no, I think Dean Ambrose is taking it here. And then Roman Reigns against Alberto Del Rio. Del Rio is probably about 1,000 to 1 underdog on that one. But yeah, we're going with Reigns on that. So the former Shield members colliding in the finals. Lucas wants it to be Ambrose, but he's picking Reigns, as am I. And Roman Reigns, your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And something tells me we'll see him eventually square off against Seth Rollins once he's recovered sometime down the road, maybe 9, 10, 11 months from now. Book it maybe for Night of Champions 2016. How about
possible role reversal? Reigns is the heel?
Maybe. Who knows? That's there's a lot of time to be able to put those things together. One thing that there isn't a lot of time for, that would be, this show here, because we're going to be making our way over to Matt Miro in just a little bit. But of course, there's one other little tidbit that we, as always, have to get out there, and that would, of course, be
birthdays. Jerk.
Thank you, Lucas. On this date in 1942, Arthur Anawa'i Sr. was born. Who's that? The three-time WWE Tag Team Champion, 2007 WWE Hall of Famer known as Alpha of the Wild Samoans turned 73 today. Wow. Also on this date in 1964, Troy Allen Martin was born. Again, who's that? The former two-time WCW Tag Team Champion, former WWE Intercontinental Champion, and four-time ECW World Heavyweight Champion known as the franchise Shane Douglas turns 51 today. And I won't even play the music for him to say, cut the bleep in music. Because, you know what he says instead of bleep. I don't have to say it, and if I do, then I get fired. So there's that.
I'll pass on that one.
And on this date in 1983, Brianna Monique Danielson and Stephanie Nicole Garcia Colais were born. Who are they? The former WWE Divas champions known respectively as Brie Bella and Nikki Bella. They turned 32 today. Brianna Danielson, because she married Brian Danielson, a.k.a. Daniel Bryan. See what they did there? But, of course, her maiden name would be Garcia Colais as well. So, happy birthday to the Bella twins, Shane Douglas and Alpha of the Wild Samoans. So, that's going to just about do it for me. Enjoy Survivor Series. Enjoy your turkey. Enjoy your turkey sandwiches and turkey soup the days after. And thank you all for listening. I'll be back. And, well, if Pennsbury keeps winning, Lucas won't.
Yeah.
And Ryan, thank you for joining us. Serena, thank you for joining us as always. Hopefully you've learned something, and if not, then I'll try to do better next time. As I always try to do here on Pro Wrestling Weekly. For now, play us out about 12 and a half minutes early, Nutsy.
1 o'clock in all's well.
Serving you better than ever before. This is 1490 WBCB Levittown, Fearless Hills,